What's up, guys? You know what it is? It's Korean Ninja May. It's super cloudy here. Filming this outside, not talking too loud, but hit that like and subscribe button. As you know, I do want to help out the channel a little bit, just get some good bets going. Comment what you think about this. Anyway, enough of that stuff. It's bright as hell. I'm gonna put my nerdy little sunglasses on. And man, we got a banger. We got a banger to talk about here. So this one, I got a bunch of notes. I could actually organize them a little bit better, but. So we got Malkoun versus Maximov. I'm actually looking forward to this one a lot, just stylistically. I want to see how it's actually gonna play out. Sorry for the technical difficulty here. Now, Nick Maximov versus Jacob Malkoun, as I said. Let's talk about Maximov first. I want to break it down too, guys, and then talk about how they match up at the end to keep myself a little organized. Now, look, he had his first fight. I'm talking about Maximov here back in 2017 at 19 years old. I always forget how young this dude is. And he entered the Dana White's Contender Series in 2020 and took on a heavyweight, even though he's a middleweight. So that's, great stuff. And now here's the thing: he actually dominated for the whole 50 minutes without taking really any damage. I think like only a few punches were landed from his opponent. So obviously that got him the contract to get into the UFC. He's has a wrestling heavy game, as you know, and he gets a lot of takedowns each fight, right? Mostly from the single legs, as you'll see. And however, we got to bring out the elephant in the room. He did get choked out by Andre Petrosky in his most recent fight. It was only took about just a little over a minute to do so. And Maximov was the heavy favorite in that. So not a good look, obviously. Bettors and fans alike are going to be, holding that against him. But hey, he's young. It is what it is. Like I said, it's his first loss in MMA. And maybe this will actually help him to work on his defense, as he's only 24. So, he's got to be making improvements, right? Before this loss, though, he did get a split decision against Soriano by basically out-wrestling him, right? That was the story. That's why the judges kind of gave it to him. Maximov does have some power of his own and will throw some kicks, but it's mostly to be able to close the distance for a single leg. Soriano seemed to be, obviously, the one with the power advantage, and he has wrestling skills of his own. As you watched in the beginning of the fight, it looked like he could hold his own. Soriano defended the takedowns early, but Maximov was relentless with the takedowns, Good pressure from Maximov, and I believe a single leg is what caused Soriano to injure his leg, as he winced in pain. The team was kind of talking about, the broadcast team was talking about how Soriano showed really good flexibility, but going on a single leg, driving into it, and you can see him wince in pain. You can only bend your leg so many times with a guy, with a middleweight going down on and actually pushing you down. It's just a lot of force on that joint. Not quite sure where he hurt himself, but good stuff. You kind of see it. That's his bread and butter. He wants to kind of grapple. You get a lot of takedowns in there. You know what I mean? So kind of like Merab Dvalishvili, in the same kind of, very different, but obviously kind of same mentality of control time, yes, but also I think the amount of takedowns is what really helps him to get these decision wins. Let's talk about Malkoun now. Malkoun, he was a wrestler also, so like I said, it's going to be an interesting matchup, but he's also competed in boxing exhibition matches, and he entered the UFC in 2020, but got KO'd quickly by Phil Hawes. It's Phil Hawes, what are you going to do? It's a few seconds, under a minute, right? 18 seconds, right? I believe, I don't know. But then he did get a win streak against Abdul Al-Hassan, another heavy hitter, and AJ Dobson, right? So he showed a high volume of takedowns and lengthy control time. This shows that if you don't land a kill shot on him, you'd better hope your grappling is high level to be able to compete with him, right? Because otherwise he's just gonna take you down and just grind out a win. He's also getting good training from Robert Whitaker, and Malkoun is similar to Maximov. I want to talk about that in that both have that wrestling. Sorry, next page. That wrestling heavy approach, but should have good BJJ, right? They have that in their back pocket, or they should, at least on paper. Maximov working with Nate Diaz, and Malkoun having a BJJ brown belt and competing in BJJ tournaments also. Actually, in 2019, Malkoun, he got his first place in the ADCC Asian and Oceanic Championship in the 99 kilogram class in Tokyo. Yeah, what's up, Tokyo? But that's of course 218 pounds are out, give or take, about 218 pounds. So, big guy. These middleweights, obviously they cut down to 185, so they blow up, they're in excess of 200 pounds. So, he's also coming off a loss like Maximov, but it's a super close split decision against Brendan Allen, so quite different. He had good wrestling offense, but got reversed in round 2 and 3. So I think that's what kind of gave the judges the impression that Brendan Allen won it. So in summation, I know it's going a little long here, but his stand-up, as far as Malcolm, his stand-up is nothing too noteworthy. And I'd give an edge and power to Maximov, though. Maximov's striking defense is questionable, so they kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of like give or take here. It's not like I don't think they have huge on the stand-up. I'm not sure there's a huge advantage for either side. I mean, they're kind of different, but you know, I think that, you know, Maximov seems to be the bigger guy at 6 foot, while Malkoun's only like 5'9", right? But and the reach, 73 inches reach for Malkoun, and then a 76-inch reach for you know, Maximov. But still, I don't think they'll weigh much different in there. I think, you know, Malkoun is, you know, blows up there. He's a big guy as far as his weight. Like I said, competing at that 99 kilogram, 218 pound division. But I'm not sure. I don't think there's going to be a huge weight disparity. And even if there was, I mean, I feel like, look, I mean, Malkoun didn't really have a problem against the bigger Allen. So I mean, it's kind of like, you know, telltale how it's going to go. I'm interested in seeing how the grappling will go and who will be able to reverse. Maximov doesn't really have the sub threat, and Malkoun doesn't really have the KO threat on paper, at least. So sorry, we got construction, but but I do think so. It's kind of tough. Like, you know, I'm not sure there's a huge advantage, you know, for either side in a way. Malkoun by decision seems like the likely play. I think a lot of people are talking about that, and but I would be wary about money line for either side. I've been saying this because, I mean, you know, it's going to go decision. It's kind of tough. I mean, you have similar styles here. It just depends on what the judges will see. And MMA judges, of course, not people you want to really trust. So, you know, I think, let me put it this way. If it's the last leg of a parlay, I would say, you know, don't shy away from hedging. Maybe if you feel like, you know what, you guarantee profit right now. You know, if you got that Malkoun money line, maybe sprinkle and get a little hedge calculator on Maximov just in case. But I mean, like, hey, maybe you just want to let it ride, you know, that's fine. But I'm more interested actually in the overs. I think over 1.5 does hit. If you're going to parlay, I think I'd rather parlay that, because I don't really see finishes happening, especially not early. You know, they're both going to, I think, a lot of grappling on the feet too. I think, you know, Maximov maybe lands with some power, but, you know, Malkoun can crack him. So he doesn't have like that crazy power to KO you. Maybe he does. I mean, it's MMA, anything can happen, but I don't really see that happening. And, you know, Maximov have shown a pretty good chin, taking shots from Soriano, but I think it'll be back and forth, a lot of grappling, and I think Malkoun will probably get the decision, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe Maximov gets that split decision win. You know, who knows? I don't know. Maybe have his moments on there. Maybe he cracks lands a nice little high kick or something. You know, who knows? But anyway, I would say like the overs. I'm more confident that I do think it goes the distance, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. Like, sub, all that good stuff, and yeah, best of luck, guys. Peace.